by the time you can just tell me what we have learned yesterday in the chat so that yes. Like a what? Okay. And at the end, of course, we are going to see two mini projects. One live, wherein it is created using Kinter, and another one I will just show you the things how it works using machine learning. Now, in the very first lecture, we have understood about the Python's strategy of working. So, try to understand whenever we talk about this programming language, it is one of the programming language which reduces the line of code. But even though it reduces the line of code, it has some sort of libraries to be imported from the external environments. And that's what we're going to discuss today. Okay, that's what we're going to discuss today. So let me just tell you, if I talk about some of the modules, okay, so there are several modules which you require to use in your Python. Okay, now apart from using these functions, let me show you these functions very quickly. Apart from using these functions, like we have some functions, these are called as the built-in functions. Today we have discussed about the functions. Why do we require functions? So in Python, if you want to use a repetitive code again and again, not in Python but in any programming language, if you want to use the repetitive code again and again, you're going to use this particular sort of functions. Okay, so yesterday what we have discussed, that was related to the user defined functions. Now today what I'm showing you here on the screen, these are the system defined functions, and these functions are already given to us. It's our duty that we are going to download this function. I mean, we are going to use this function, and we are going to take the benefit of these functions. Okay, so we have several functions, like we have ASCII value, then we have integer value, then we have any, then we have division mode, then we have chr, that is the character, then we have binary equivalent, then we have all, then we have power, we have order, that is the binary value of any number, then we have octal value, then we have round, then we have hex. So I will just show you a few functions here. Now suppose if I want to understand what is the ASCII value of, say, like 65. Okay, let me just go to the IDE. Let me open my program what we have used yesterday. Okay, so what we're talking about, we're just talking about the built-in functions. Okay, so built-in functions means these functions are given by system we are using. Now, for example, if I talk about a variable like a equal to, if I'm storing this variable like capital A into this, okay. Now, if I want to understand the ASCII value of this, so what is the function? I have to use ASCII, okay, that is what I have shown you here, okay. This is the ASCII of what? ASCII of the variable, okay. What variable you're talking about? Oh, you're talking about the variable that you have stored inside that particular thing. Like for example, if I'm storing here, let me open it once again. Yeah, so here if I'm talking about say like uh, this particular variable here, a equal to capital A, okay, and if I want to know the ASCII value of this particular thing, so I have to use this ASCII function. So I have to use ASCII value of A. Okay, so if I run this, particularly what I will get here is I will get the value as A. Okay, this is the ASCII value. Now if I want to convert this particular variable into integer, okay, now see, if I'm using I and T, okay, that is what the next function what we have here particularly. So we have int, okay, int of this particular A. Okay, so if I'm talking about this particular A, what is the value, integer value of this A? Now I'm getting here error because, yeah, just a minute. Should give the capital A. Directly I will write here. Sorry, I'm using a different function. I have to use, sorry. Yeah. Now let me tell you the values first. Okay. Without that, I will not be able to make you understand. See, these are the ASCII values. Like, see, if I talk about 48 to 57, this is the number. Okay. Here you can see I have prepared one chart. If you observe this chart, okay, this is decimal, this is hexadecimal, this is octal, this is character. Okay. So here I am having all the respective values. Now what I'm doing here is I want to print the ASCII character, okay, ASCII character for this 65. Okay, so if I'm talking about 65, my capital A is starting from 65 and it is going till 90. Last time also we have discussed. So here when I'm printing this CHR of 65, I'm getting this capital A. Okay, so let me tell you here. Okay, so that let me first explain you this. So here if I'm talking about print, okay, what CHR of 65, CHR of what I'm telling here, see, if you remember 65, CHR of 65, that means I'm printing what is the character value of this 65. So if I'm printing this, what I'm getting here is, good evening all of you. Yeah, so what I'm getting here is A particular. Okay, so if I'm talking about say like another value wherein I'm printing uh, character value of 90. Okay, so this is nothing but this is my small, this is my capital letter, this is my capital letter, try to understand, this is my capital letter Z. So I'm starting with A and Z, that's what the table is given here. Okay, afterwards you can just go through this table. That's how I'm printing a ASCII value, okay, for a particular integer. Okay, that is mean this is just a conversion. So that's why we are using ASCII value. ASCII values means what? That is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So somebody has embedded these numbers into, camera is on. एक minute, just a minute, just a minute. I think, I hope my camera is on. camera is not on. Just a minute. Okay, now it's on. Yeah. So that's all we're talking about this particular function here. Okay. So if I'm printing this char of any value, it will give me that respective value. That is what a table here is. So there are various table if you want to print the numeric value of a character, the character value of a numeric value, or a hexadecimal value. For that, we have all these functions. Okay, so binary equivalent is OB. So if you're getting this 0B, it's not OB, sorry, it's 0B. Octal is 0, small o. Hexadecimal is 0 and X. This is how the values are represented here. So if I'm having keyboards like 114, or say like nowadays it is more than 200 with the new Unicode. So we have three coding schemes. One is ASCII, one is Unicode, okay, and one more is there, that is IBZIC. Okay. Now I'm not going in more detail into this, but try to understand. In Python we have all these functions. Okay, like you can convert them to ASCII also. Now see, if I'm converting this value x equal to 1 to 3, okay, x equal to 1 to 3, so directly I'll show you here instead of typing it. So ord is a reverse of chr. Now if I'm talking about ord of a, that will give me 65. ord of a, that will give me 65. That's how we talk about this particular thing. So if I'm, instead of this, if I'm talking about order of ord of what, say like if I'm talking about this d, if I'm talking about this d, so if I'm printing this particular thing, what I'm getting here is I'm getting this answer 100. So that is related to 100. So that is again one of the function which we use. Okay, likewise we have several functions. Okay, so these are some of the functions by which you can convert ASCII values into character and character values into ASCII. Okay, then we have certain values wherein you can type that values and you can convert that into some other categories, maybe like string or maybe like number. So here you can see I have taken one variable x equal to 123. Everybody might understand this. If you're not understanding, please see. You can just comment in the comment section. So here you're talking about x equal to 123. I'm just moving this fast because that is not that much difficult to understand. So x equal to 123. What I'm doing here is I'm converting this into string. And then what I'm doing here is I'm converting this into ASCII. And then I'm printing type of y. So what is my type of y? That is string. Then I'm printing type of z. What is my type of z? That is again string. Then I'm printing the length of y. What is the length of y? It is 3. Then I'm printing the length of z. What is the length of z? It is 3. Same is the case with this particular things. Okay. Same is the case with this. Now what I'm doing here is I'm representing a number in string. Try to understand. And then I'm converting that into ASCII. And then I'm printing the type of that particular number. And then I'm printing the length of that particular number. Okay. So that is how we can talk about this ASCII. So this cap also is having some ASCII value. Okay. You can check all this. I'm giving the table here. So you can access this table and you can understand all this order of the functions. Okay. So these functions, what I have notified here, these are the inbuilt function. Inbuilt function means what? I have not used anything by which I have not used any statement by which I'm importing them. Have I used anything here? Because these functions by default they are coming into your Python environment. But there are few functions wherein you have to use them in such a way that you have to import some modules. That is what we are going to discuss here. Okay? For some special purpose wherein you are going to import a specific module for them. What you're going to do, you're going to import a specific module for them. Okay, can you observe these functions now? I have some functions like math. Okay, so I have used one rand integer function which generates a random number. I have to give a range. It will generate that random number here. Then I have a function wherein this function will generate a float random number with a given range. Again, it is related to humans. It is related to float. Then I have only random which might generate anything between 0 and 1. That is again a real number. Then I have the rand range probably it generates a random number within whatever range you are giving, and you might use a step also here. Okay, then for math you have all these functions. Now try to understand whatever I have written here. Okay, whatever I have written particularly on this particular uh, upside of this column, okay, these are nothing but the modules. Okay, these are the modules. So Python में these modules are not ready made available. What you're supposed to do here is be able to come to your environment. That's how particular thing. So let us move to understand this particular model. Okay, let us understand this particular, what I can say, model. Let me take you to again this particular environment, ID environment. Okay, so now how to import the things. Try to understand this is stored somewhere here. All these things are stored somewhere here. Okay, if I go to save as, or say like if I go to the ID one more time, that is my Python ID. Okay, so if you remember, I'll open this file location. This is my file location. Can you observe this? Okay, so this program, here I have all these modules which are the tools which are stored in this folder. So this is my address, this is my reference address. That's why I have to import them from this particular module. Can you see here, module docs? You can observe these docs. There is one command by which you can observe these docs. Okay, so you can, if you want to observe what docs are there, what modules are there which are external to your Python, you have to go to this location. Once you go to this location, you are going to import them. अभी डायरेक्टली अगर मेरे प्रोग्राम में मुझे इंपोर्ट करना है ना, सपोज इफ आई वांट टू import these things into my program, say like if I want to have a sealing function mein what I do is I convert my value from point to a integer, the upper integer. So what I need to do here is I need to have a math module. So from math, what I need to do, import. Okay, import what, asterisk. Now when I'm using asterisk means what, whatever is there inside this math model, all the functions will be imported into my program. Clear all of you? Okay, I hope you have understanding this. Now let me write something like this. Okay, so here I'm printing something like this, seal of, say like 2.6. Okay, seal of this 2.6. Now if I'm executing this, okay, let me execute this before adding the matplot. Let me check what would happen. Okay, so when I execute this, sound is getting corrupted. Just a minute, I'll check my net. Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. That's the problem. So by mistake, I just put. Sorry, if I'm not audible now. I'm audible. Can anyone tell me? Am I audible now? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So okay. 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 Fine. 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 So here, what we are talking about, what we were talking about is we were talking about this particular modules. Now, this modules, what I have written here, these modules are stored in your Python environment in an external file. So what you are going to do here is you are going to import them as a program into your whatever program you have saved with. Okay. So for example, if I want to use this floor function, so I need to write floor. Already I have imported math here. So now I can work with them. Okay. So floor, I can write whatever value I want to write, 12.3 for example. Okay. And then if I run this, now I'm getting the output. I'll get the output 12. So that is floor and that is seal. So likewise, we have several functions. We have factorial also. Okay. Print. Can you see here? I have written number of functions there. We have GCD, then we have factorial. Let me run factorial also. So factorial. Okay. I hope factorial. Yeah, factorial. Then I need to give the factorial of say like 5. What is the factorial of 5? You might be knowing that. Let me run this. So if I run this, particularly I'm getting the answer. This is how we talk about this import statement. This should be the first statement wherein you're going to import your files into your program. Now it is not that every time you're related to maths and say like the what I can say your typical programming processes. But as far as the project development is concerned, in project development, you can create your own packages. This is called as packages. For example, if I am working on a banking application, okay, for example, if I'm working on a banking application, let me tell you, and say like in banking application, what is happening here is this is my environment, okay, and probably this is my program, okay, and probably there might be one more thing which is my database. Okay, so what is happening here is this particular program, it is related to say like all my rules and say like interest rate, for example, for the bank. And this is the actual banking application. This is the actual banking application. So what I need to do here is I need to import all these rules and interest into my banking application. For that also we use this import statement. I hope everyone is clear with this. I hope everyone is clear with this. Okay, so that's how we talk about this import statement. So you have to import this. So these are the packages. Packages in the sense we talk about several things as far as Java is concerned or as far as Python is concerned, wherein you are going to use them for your day-to-day program or for your day-to-day applications. Okay, so your day-to-day applications in the sense whatever applications you're creating, you might generate some programs which are not inbuilt or environment. So you have to take that from that particular packages. So this is how you're going to import the things. Okay, I hope you have understood this. Okay, then we have the other things like other functions like random. Okay, so how to generate a random? So random ke liye I have to import random module. Okay, so if I want to generate a random integer, I have to use a random module here. Okay, now how to use a random module? So here again I have to import the random. Instead of math, I have to import the random module. Okay, so import random, import from random import asterisk or import random. So you can write import random also. Okay, both the ways are correct. You can also write import random. Let us check whether it works with your Python 12. Okay, because in Python 10 and 9 it works. So let me check whether it works. So now if I want to generate the random numbers here, so dot random dot rand int. So this will generate the random numbers of integers say like from 2 to 160, suppose, or I will take some near number like 12 to 160. Okay, so if I want to do this, okay, so I am generating this random numbers from one particular range to another range. Okay, so if I am working with them, so let me check whether it works. Yeah, it works. So I got one number, random number 46. Okay, so this is one thing. Okay, this is one thing. Now if you want to step them, so that is one range, step range is also given. Okay, so or else if you want to shuffle the numbers, if you want to create a floating point numbers instead of random int, what you're going to use is you're going to use uniform. Okay, likewise several things are there, children. I'll not be able to tell you all the functions in this 1.5 hours lecture, so it's your duty that you go through all these functions after the completion of the course. Okay, so see that you're going through all these functions after the completion of the course. Okay, so if I want to generate a floating point numbers, I have to use random dot uniform, and then if I run my module or run my program, so particularly I'm getting some number which is having a floating point value. Is it clear to you? Okay, so this is how we talk about all these modules. So if you want to import the modules, there are number of modules. Okay, if I type on Google, you will get number of modules. Okay, or you can ask to chat gpt also how many modules are there. Okay, so modules in Python. Okay, modules in Python, so lot many modules are there. I'll not show you anything related to this, but if I go to Python, here you can see lot many modules are there. Okay, so here you can see module. Okay, so these are the modules, standard modules. Okay, if you go to standard module, this is the system module that is inbuilt there. Then directory module is there. Okay, lot many modules, built-in modules are there. These are the built-in modules. Okay, so if you want to work with this built-in modules, you can have this command on your screen, particularly on your console, on your Python. It will give you all the modules which are there. These are the built-in modules. Okay, so you can have two categories of modules. You can either use the built-in modules, or else you can create your one module, or else you can create your one module. Is it clear to you? Any questions? If you have any question, please put in the chat box. Yeah, I hope everyone is understanding this. Okay, that's how we talk about this particular thing. Now let me move to the next part. Okay, let me move to the next part. Let me check what is there. Yeah, so this was the thing what we have discussed. Date and time is also there, that is related to date and time. Particularly you can have the system date and time in as an environment for you, because see, when you execute the database operations, you require to synchronize with your date and time. So that's why you require this date and time module as well. Okay, now let us move to the next part. How do you install the external packages? So there is one simple command, pip install. Okay, this pip install might install all the modules. Now let me tell you, today we are going to see the data visualization. Now why there is a requirement of data visualization? First I will tell you how you are going to install this matplot. Okay, first I will tell you what is the requirement of data visualization, and then I will tell you how you are going to import this module. Okay, how you are going to import this module into your environment. Okay, basically how you are going to import this module into your environment. Okay, let me just tell you what is a visualization. Okay, now everyone watches matches or cricket matches or say like football matches. Now every time you get a graph, right? What graph you get? Have you observed any time? That is a SAP application. What you observe? That is a SAP application, but it can be also created, and there are several applications wherein Python helps to create the things. So here we have two lines, for example. Okay, we have one line here and we have another line here, and we get some graphs like what was the score in first over, what was the score in second over, what is the predicted score, so on and so forth. This is related to cricket. Or else if you want to understand somebody's striking rate, they will give you one pie chart, and they will explain you. That is how this is related to your visualization. Now, in today's environment related to your data science and other applications, only data is few, and because of that, you require to arrange this data in such a manner that you can very easily understand it. We require this data visualization. Now, in Python, data visualization, it can be done with the help of Matplot. It can be done with the help of Matplot. Now, let us understand how we are going to work with this Matplot. Okay. Now, let me just open the Matplot things here. Okay. So that you understand how it works particularly. Okay. Just let me open that Matplot. Let me close this. Yeah, I'll be sharing this, no issue. You can, a lot many functions are there. I have not explained all the functions to you. So see that you go through all these functions particularly. Okay, let me close this. Okay, let me open the Matplot things. Yeah, so that was a mistake. Okay, so here I have a Matplot PPT which is designed for you people. Where it went? Yeah, here it is. So let us move to Matplot. Okay, so what is Matplot? It is a low-level graph plotting library in Python. So that is one package. Interchangeably, I can call it as package or library. Don't get confused. Okay, interchangeably, I can call them as the package or the library. Okay, so this Python, it uses this library or package to create the visualization. Okay, so it was created by John D. Hunter, which was there in 2002. That's not important for us. How do you install this in Windows? Okay, so you have to use this pip install matplot. Now, where do you have to use this command? You have to use cmd. Particularly, it is very interesting now. Cmd, and then you have to write pip install. Okay, and then you have to write matplot library. Okay, so the spelling mistake should not be there. It should be matplotlib only. Now, once I press the enter button here, you will get that it is already been installed. So already I have installed before a while. Okay, for in your case, if it is not been installed, you might get something like reading the files, copying the files, okay, opening matplot. Lot many things are there, but it is the case that you should have your internet. Okay, without internet, you will not be able to, I can say, download this matplot or install this matplot. Okay, now how, if you're installed, now you're going to use it. How to use it? Now, once you have installed it, just close this, exit from here. This is your cmd. This is not a Python, this is your cmd. Okay, after installation, you have to quit this. Then you are going to import your what? Matplot. How to import now? You're going to import the matplot in this manner. Import matplot as empty. As empty means you're going to use that particular, what I can say, variable to notify what is your matplot. Okay, now if you want to understand the version, like what version is there, that is a very easy thing. Like you can just write print empty dot underscore version, so it will give you what version you are using. Today's version is, it is above 4. It is not 4 it was just when the PPT was created. Today's version is, it is above 4. It is above 4. Try to understand. Okay, now let us move to how you are going to use this. Okay, so whatever matplot utilities are there, they lie under the pyplot, which is submodule, and they are also, what I can say, imported when we import the matplot. See, when we talk about the asterisk, asterisk means what? There is a difference. Asterisk means everything will be imported. Instead of asterisk, if I'm writing something like this, mat.pow, mat.pow means only that module will be imported. Try to understand. Now, if I'm writing matplot dot pyplot as plt, means what? I'm not importing everything. I'm importing only the pyplot. That's the meaning of this particular thing. Okay, I'm just importing the pyplot. Okay, so there is one function. Okay, there is one function, plot function. It is very easy to understand. Now, this plot function is responsible to draw the things on your Python environment. Okay, so if you want to draw something on the screen, you're going to use the plot function, and try to understand the parameters of plot functions are more than two. If you're using two parameters, that means the first parameter is the x-axis and the second parameter is the y-axis. The second parameter is the y-axis. Okay, now let me tell you, with the matplot, okay, there are several things, let me write it here. Okay, with the matplot, you need to also, okay, you need to also import these things, these modules. There is one module like numpy, there is another module like pandas. What are these two modules now? These two modules are used to represent your arrays or numbers. Okay, these two modules you are going to use to represent your arrays and numbers. Okay, now why we are using numpy? Try to understand. Python may, if you directly talk with the numbers, or if you talk with the matrices, it is sometimes slower. Whereas in C programming, these are the faster one. So what NumPy does, it represent a C-like structure for your Python numeric representation. That is a very big story. I did not to talk for that of that story here, but try to understand. These are some of the libraries which you are going to import into your program. Import into your program. Okay, and when we import them, try to understand, this will work as if they are the numbers which you are putting on the screen. So this is your screen, for example. Okay, now try to understand, when I have the numbers like 0 0 0 0 means my x is 0 and y is also 0, so it will start from this particular position. This is 0 comma 0. If I talk about this, it is n comma m. N comma m means both are max. So it is just like a graph. So this is x-axis and this is y-axis. So the values will increase here and these values will increase here. So these values will increase here. Okay, these values will increase here and these values will increase here. Okay, these values will increase here. Particularly these values will increase in this position. That's how we talk about this particular. So if I go up this position, so this is having some value, something like y, this, and this is having some value, something. So this is the intersection of this x and y. That's how we are going to plot the graph. Okay, so let us talk about the, yeah. So let me just see the chat box now. If I have some questions, yeah. Yeah. Okay, fine, fine, fine. So there is nothing related to this. So if you have any doubts, please ask. Okay, so we're talking about the Matplot. Matplot is a Python library which is used to visualization, which is used for visualization. So let us understand how I can use this Matplot for visualization. Let me go to my program directly. So that's why I was talking about this NumPy and Pandas. So directly, indirectly, if you are importing Matplot, you are importing NumPy and Pandas, both the things. Okay, so that's how we talk about this NumPy and Panda. Now let me move to my first program wherein I will print something, okay. So what do I do now? I have to use import. Okay, please be with me. I have to place write import. Then what shall I import? If I'm not with the spelling mistake, matplotlib, okay, dot, see here, dot. If I'm pressing tab, if it is an editor, you will get all the things which is there inside the Matplot. Now this is not an editor, it's just an IDE environment, so it will not show me the values. It will take time to show the values. So pyplot, it is pyplot, okay, as say like plt. This is my first statement. So whatever variables I am using now, I for plotting, I'll have to use the variable as plot. Okay. Now the numeric representation. I have to also import what? Import numpy as np. NP means it is just a variable. Okay. Now try to understand your x and y variable. X equal to NP dot array. What is this array now? This array is a representation of your list like element which consists of some parameters, which are in numeric numbers, which are numeric. So if I'm talking about 0 comma say like 10, okay, so here I am talking about something wherein my x1 is 0 and x2 is 6. X1 is 0, x2 is 6. Now when I talk about this particular point here, try to understand. So if I want to draw a line, see, if you are not getting, please ask me in the chat box. See, how do I print a line? Try to understand. How do I print a line? First I will tell you this. This is my which axis? This is my x axis. Sorry, this is my y axis, isn't it? This is my y axis. What is my this axis? Okay, this is my what? X axis. This is my x axis. This is my x axis. Now y and x is done. Now what is happening here? If I talk about x point, if I talk about this particular point here, okay, say like here, this is my point. It means that it is my x and this is my y. So this is say like 10, okay, this is say like 15. So it is incrementing by 5. This is 5, 10, 15, then 20. Likewise, it is going increasing here. And this is 10. It is increasing by 10, 20, 30. You're getting this? It is incrementing here somewhere. Okay, like this. So here, this point means it is my intersection of this x and the y. Okay, suppose if I'm talking about this point is nothing but the intersection of y and x. So what is the intersection of y and x here? X is how much? 15 and y is how much? 10. Now if I want to have second point of the line, suppose it is somewhere here. So this is something like, for example, 40, x-axis pe 40 and on y-axis say like I am having 30. So this is my second point. This is my x1 and this is my x2, for example. So now I am connecting them. This is how we draw the line. This is how we draw the line. I repeat, if you have any doubts, please ask me in the comment section. Okay, yeah, so this is how we talk about the x1 and x2. So let us trace this program now. This is my x1, okay, and this is my y1, x1 and y1 I am giving separately. Okay, then what I am doing, I am giving for y, x1 and x2, sorry, x1 and x2. Okay, then I am giving for what? Y. So y equal to np dot array of, then again in bracket I am giving something like 0 comma 250. Okay, and let me close the bracket, let me close the curly bracket, the rounded bracket. So what do we mean by this? These are the pixels what I am giving here. So this means that x1 is 0 and x2 is 10 without 2 point. Yeah, I'll be giving that, I'll be sharing that, don't worry. Okay, without the 2 point you will not be able to draw the line. Try to understand. So that should be first point and that should be the second point. Without that I'll not be able to draw the line. Okay, so this is x1 and this is x2, this is y1 and this is y2. Okay, now the next thing is how you are going to plot them. So we have already seen that what function we are going to use, plot. With what you are going to plot? With my object of matplot, that is plt.plot, and here what I am going to do, I am going to use the points. X ke liye these points are there and y ke liye these points are there. That means my array. Array means just like list, only list I have created. Array means it is a list only. And now for this again I have to use plt dot show, because this Python things are not capable of showing the output on their own. So we have to plot them on a particular screen. That's why I'm using this dot show. Okay. Now, yeah, which bracket you're talking about? Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, so this bracket you are supposed to close. Now let me run this and let me check what is the output. So if everything goes correct, you'll get the output. Okay, now this is what is your a line. Okay, now can anyone tell me how the points are there? How the points are there? Okay, let me just explain you. Okay, let me just explain you. Okay, so by default, I haven't given any scale. What your Python compiler will do, or what your Python matplot will do, it will calculate the scale by on its own. It will take what is the max value. So what is the max value here? 250. Based on that max value, it will show, it will go till that particular value, 250. And for the next value, what is the max value for x? It is 10. So it will go till 10. And now you can draw the things. Okay. So what is my first value? 0, 0. What is my second value? That is 10 and 250. 10 and 250. So this is my x1 and this is my y1. Sorry, this is my x1 and y1. This is my x2 and y2. Simple. Is there any doubt? Any questions? Yeah. Is there any doubt? Okay, shall I move to next? Can I get something in the chat box? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Surya. Thank you, Ajinkya. Atiz, Sushant. Okay, I'll repeat. Sushant is saying that I want to repeat. See what we are doing. We are using a matplot library. Okay, so matplot library is a basic library for data visualization. Data visualization in Python. So it comes with some flavors. It comes with some components like NumPy and Pandas. Why do we use NumPy? Because we want to create the list of numbers. Why to create the list of numbers? Because this my screen, it only understand the pixels. That's the reason I want to create the numbers, array of numbers or list of numbers. Okay. Now what I'm doing here is I'm using pyplot as plt. I'm creating a variable. Okay. This is my import statement. Okay. This is my every time you are supposed to write the comment. See, if any program you're writing, you should write the program in comment. I'm not writing because it will spend my time. It will waste my time. That's the reason I'm not writing here. Okay. Import the library. This is how I'm importing the library. Okay. Library. Okay. What is the next thing? Again, this is also to import the NumPy library. Okay. Import the NumPy library. Okay. So this is the NumPy library. Then what is this statement? I'm creating the points for what? For what? X values. That is my x1 and x2. This what I'm doing? I'm creating the values for y, that is y1 and y2. And then what I'm doing? I'm plotting the graph with the x and y points. Okay. And what about this? I am presenting that because by default your presentation on the screen is off. That's why you're going to make it on. How you're going to make it on? You're going to use this particular function, show function. So here you are getting on. Okay, I hope you have understood. So this is my x1, x2, y1, y2, and that is what I'm getting as output. That is what I'm getting as output. Now suppose you don't want line. You don't want line. Simply you want dots. Simply you have to change one more thing here. So this bracket, this you can play with these things. Okay. So what you're going to do here is, if I'm not wrong, you're going to use the O, small o. Okay. Now again, if I run this, what would happen? See here, what I'm getting now? I'm getting only points. Can you see here? I'm getting x1 and x2 points here on the screen. Down corner, can you see? I don't know how much visible it is. If I move down, move up, here also I'm getting 250 and 10, 10 and 250, something. These are nothing but the pixel. If I rotate this up, for this what I'm getting, see, I'm not getting anything. If I'm coming here, 4 and 8. If I'm coming here, 3 and 57. If I'm coming here, you're getting, this is how it is getting changed. Yes? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so just like a FIFA game, yeah, you can create the things. Okay, you can create gaming application with this. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Now suppose if you want one more line here, one more line, how do I create one more line here? Okay, so you can have uh, again multiple parameters, like I'm taking some parameters like 6 and 8. Here also I'm taking some parameters like 25, 56 and 3. Now I'm just uh, writing it blindly. I don't know how the graph will look like. Okay, so you have to check that. You have to plot the graph. So see, this is my first point, second point, third point, fourth point. So ultimately these are nothing but the lines. So if I am using my if I'm removing this O, ultimately this thing will be converted into lines. So I will get two lines because I am having four points. Okay, four points particularly. Okay, now you might see more than one line because that is because you have not used you have not plotted them in a correct manner. So 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 likewise. Okay, so this is my first point, second point, third point and fourth point. Based on that the lines will be connected. Whatever points are there, if I'm increasing one more points here, how many points? Suppose I'm increasing some more points here, say like again I'm going back to 250 and here again I'm going back to say like 450. Now this will become a very huge diagram. So here you can see I'm getting a very what I can say dangled image because that is not coming in the purview of this particular presentation. Okay, that's why you have to take the points wherein the points are logical. Now if I observe this particularly, these are the single points what I'm having. So let me take one more point here, say like 3, and here also one more point, say like 7. Now see what would happen here. Yeah, I hope it's clear to all. Yeah, so this will create a zigzag line. Okay, now let us move to the next point. Okay, let us move to the next point because we have only half an hour for this. So let us move to the next point. Now there are certain marker references. Okay, in the PPT I have given certain marker references. Okay, so if you observe this marker references, this marker references you are going to use with your plot function. Suppose I'm using this O, it is a circle, so it will have just circle. Star, it will be a star. Point, point. X, X. Filled, capital X. Plus, plus. Likewise. So this is nothing but the marker things. Okay, this is nothing but the marker. That is there for the colors. Okay, so voice is not there. Yeah, line and dots. Yeah, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Okay, sound gone once again. Just a minute. Huh? Let me check whether I have muted myself. No, I haven't muted myself. It is on. Okay, sorry, it is on. Yeah. So dotted ke liye, see what we are doing here. Dotted. Somebody asked me how you can draw the dotted lines. Already, I think I have the program with me here. So this is the dotted line. What you are going here is you are giving two things: O colon R. Colon means it will have the dotted in R. Dotted in R in the sense uh, the color for the graph would be red and it will be in dotted. Already I've told you this table. Dotted ke liye you have this colon. Solid ke liye you have this dash. Dashed ke liye you have this double dash. Okay, and this is again single dot or dash you can use. I hope it's clear. Yeah, I'll be sharing that, no problem. Okay, fine. So I'll be sharing everything whatever we have discussed for this 3 days boot camp. Don't worry. Okay, this is about the color. You can give the color. So here you can see what I have done is I have used the marker. Okay, this marker is O, this is my marker. Okay, and then I have used the size to set the size, ms to set the size of this marker. So if you increase this size, it will feel like it is a ball. It will give the feeling like it is a ball. Okay, so let me just very quickly go through all these things. Okay, so this is how you can talk about the FFC. FFC is given to the marker colors. What marker you have used, for that you can color them. Okay, so likewise you have several things. Now this is for the dotted. Without that, we have also a second approach wherein you can just write the line style. You can just write the line style. So line style means what? It will give you what type of line style you want. What type of line style you want. So this is a dotted line style. This is a dotted line style. I hope everyone is understanding this. This is a dotted line style. Okay, so likewise we have the line references here. Okay, now this is related to again the same thing what we have discussed, line color and all. So you can give the color also. If I'm not giving the color, uh, it will take a default color, whatever color is there. Okay, obviously it is blue or black for some situation, and if you are specifying the color, it will change the argument to that particular color. Now see, when you are dealing with the machine learning applications, I'll show you also, you will come across such graphs. So you should know how you are going to set these graphs. Okay, you should know how you're going to draw these graphs. Okay, so you can also create the titles, you can also create the font size, you can give the what I can say font size, and you can also give the background color or image. Okay, that also you can do. Okay, let me just tell you that also. Somewhere I might have that program here. Okay, directly I'll show you the program so that you understand what it is. Otherwise, if I'll do that program, it will take time. So let me tell you where it is. It is here somewhere. Yeah, can you observe this for next 2 minutes? So grid, I'm giving grid now. plt.grid. What I've done here is import matplot.pyplot as plt, import numpy as np. I have used 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Okay. Then this is the label, X label. What is the X label now? Overs. This is the X label. This is the Y label, plt.y label. What is the Y label now? Runs. Here you can see runs. Okay. Here you can see runs. Okay, this is the runs. Okay, and this is the overs. Okay, and this is the sport data. So I'm giving the topic as sports data actually. Okay, so here I can have the title also. This is my title, sports data. Left, you can align this left, center, or right. Depends. Okay, and then the last very important one, I'm giving this grid, plt.grid. plt.grid means what? It will create the grid for that particular graph. You can create any sort of grid. Okay, now let us move to the very important topic, that is how do you create the scattered plots. How do you create the scattered plots? Directly I will just go to the program. So let me tell you what is a scattered from scattered plot. It is used to plot one dot for each observation. So it requires again a two arrays of same length, one for the values of x-axis and one for the values of y-axis. So you have x and y-axis here. Okay, so try to understand how you can go with this particular scattered plot. Okay, let me just use the same thing now, np. Then I'll use some array. I'll give some points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me give some logical points here. Say like 0, 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. Okay. And for this I will use double of the lines what I've used, because it should give me a point effect. 12, 20, 26 and 38. I hope it is equal. 3 plus 3 6, 3 plus 3 6. Okay. Then what I will do, instead of plot is for line. Okay. Now I'm changing my graph. From plot I'm going for the very famous and important one, scattered. Machine learning algorithms and data science algorithm, 80% of the diagrams are related to scatter graph only, because that is the trend what is going on today. Okay. So now if I am using this particularly, what I will get is this output. Okay, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so this is the dotted line. This is the dotted line. Now you might be wondering that how to give the colors. How to give the colors. Okay, let me tell you how you're going to give the colors here. Okay, so if you want to talk about the colors here, so if you want a single color, what you can do, wherever you are pointing the x-axis, you can give them a different color. Wherever you are pointing the y-axis, for that you can give a different color. So you can have both the ways. Okay, so here if I'm talking about this particular point, after this, if I'm talking about this particular variable, color equal to, say like red, red. Okay, and then if I'm executing this, can you see here? I got all the red colors. Getting? This is how you can work with the different colors. Now you have one more array here. Say like you have one more what I can say, x and y points. One more x and y points. Let me copy the same points here. I will change, of course, the points, but the values. But let me copy this. I will take the values like the second values are something which should be observable. Then I will take 8, then 11, and say like 9 and 3. And these I will take some smaller values so that the graph is visible. 5, 6, 2, 7, 16, say like 18. Okay, and now for this I am giving some other color like green. Okay, see, this I'm using twice to have different points. This all because I'm using different points. And but anything it is, for the scatter graph you have to use, or for any graph you have to use show once only, not twice. Okay, now if I'm executing this, can you see this? Okay, all these points, if I observe this first point, that is something 0 and 2. This point, it is something 37 and 5, likewise. So this is how you are giving the color to the graph. You are giving the color to the graph. Okay, but likewise if you want different colors, there also you might give the different colors. For that also you can create an array. Let me do one thing now. Okay, let me create one array. So I want my colors here, my color, okay, equal to, I will create an array, and here I will give whatever color I wish to give. Red, but it should be related to points. Whatever points you have, that many colors you are going to give. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, purple, if I'm not wrong, lime, then I have aqua, then I have yellow or cyan. Okay, then you can close this. Why I have taken 6 points? Because 6 colors, because I have this 6, what I can say, points. Okay, and now for color, I wish the color should come from my list. I hope you are understanding why we are using list now. Okay, see, now we are reaching for the application oriented things. Yesterday we have discussed what is list. Now today we are discussing the application of list. So we are applying list here so that I can get my color here. So I will write here my color equal to my color. So what it will do, it will take one color from this particular point and it will give it. Okay. So when I run this, particularly I will get all these 6 colors as far as the output is concerned. Can you see here? Red, green, okay, purple, again green, lime, okay, and this yellow, all these colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there any doubt, any questions? Okay, now there is one more thing, like how you can increase the size. That also you can do. Okay, how to increase the size now? After giving the color, after color here you can have s equal to size, s equal to size, comma, and the parameter for that size, I'll give the alpha value for that size, it is 0.5 for example. Okay, 0.5. Let me see now what is the effect. It's very interesting if you're doing it. What happened, I have not defined the size, sorry. I will give some number here. Okay, this also I have to give the array. Yeah, this is my list again. Okay, so size का भी list होना चाहिए. Fine, and this is the distance. Alpha is nothing but the distance between two particular circles. Okay, so let me take the size of the circles here: 10, 30, 50, 70, say like 200, and then 300. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, now let me check whether I can run this. Can you see this? It is going on increasing, smaller, then bigger, and then this is the bigger one. Now this alpha 0.3 means it is giving me the transparency of that particular, what I can say, circle. Okay, if I'm reducing it, you can see the difference. Okay, it shows how the color should be. It is showing that transparency of that color. So it is faint now. It has become very faint. It has become very faint. Now if instead of this, if I'm giving say like 2, okay, I don't know whether it works for 2, I'm not sure, but let me check. Yeah, it doesn't work for 2. The value is between 0 to 1, I think. If I'm giving it as 1, I'm not sure for 1 also. I think it's from 0.1 to, I mean, yeah, 1 means it is darker one, transparency. True. Any questions, any doubt up till now? Chat box. I'm not audible still. How come I'm not audible today? Let me check one more time my network. Yeah, dear, my network is working. It is fantastically working. You just check your network, please. Yeah, fine, fine. Thank you. Now let us move to the next part. Now after this, let us talk about how to create the bar chart or bar diagram. Okay. Now instead of scatter, here you are going to use what? Bar. Simple. Okay. Now let me write some names for this particular bar. Okay, say like I have something called as sales. Okay, then I have the marketing department. These are the expenses, for example, all these departments, marketing, then say like HR, then accounts. Simple. Okay, I have taken this as the values, and let me take this as values. I'll take only 4 values to worry about the things: 45, 20, 36, 38, and then I will have this particular thing afterwards. Let me show you a simplest one: PLT, that is this dot bar, and here I'm giving X and Y. Okay, now let me remove this because it will not be feasible for this. Okay, and then I'm using this PLT dot show. Now when I execute this, see here I'm getting something error. Okay, so some mistake is there. Let me run this. Can you check this? Yeah, this is how we talk about the bar chart. Okay, now there are several things like horizontally how you can draw. If you want to draw this horizontally, what you can do here is you can just use H after the bar. Okay, here you can just use H if I'm not wrong, and then if you execute this particularly, you will get a horizontal diagram. You can see here accounts, HR, marketing, and sales. Okay, so this is my horizontal diagram. Now if I want to talk about the other things, like I want to use the other colors and I mean the other parameters, you know now how you're going to do that. Okay, that is about the bar chart. Okay, now histogram, the very important one is histogram again. uh, Lot many applications, whether it is machine learning or say like CNN application, they use histogram for their analysis. So let us see now how I can draw the histogram. So again, here it is related to statistics. That is not the part of discussion now. But let me tell you how I can draw a histogram. So here you are going to use a numeric value only. So let me delete this value. Okay. So I will use X in this manner. NP dot. I will use the random function. I hope you know what is random function now. Random dot normal, but this random function is not related to your math. It is related to statistics, which is inside your pandas or numpy. Okay, random, and here I'm using some values. Here I'm using some values. Okay, and then I'm drawing this particular histogram. Okay, plt dot hist of, I want to draw it on the X side only. Okay, and now let me run this. Let me run this. Oh, what happened? Some error. Yeah, histogram take only 4 parameters. That's the mistake. Yeah, I've closed it. Histogram take only 4 parameters. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me change something like this. 20, 16, 308. Any value, that doesn't matter. np dot random dot normal 1, 2. Oh, it is not 4 parameters. Should not have 4 parameters. Okay, it should have only 3 parameters because we are talking about a histogram. So let me run this now. Can you see this? This is what the histogram is. Okay, I hope you're understanding this. See, I'm going very fast because uh, there is only 15 minutes remaining. So let me just move to the next part now. After this, we'll be talking about a pie chart, how to draw a pie chart. So pie chart may again, I will take one more value here, say like 15, and let me take this as I'm audible? Yes, children. Hello, guys. Please tell me if I'm audible. Yeah. Am I audible? Yeah. Sorry. Sorry for that. Yeah. So I was talking about exceptions. So when we talk about exceptions, exceptions are nothing but the abnormal conditions in your program. So here if you write your program, suppose in case your file is not opened in the program by mistake, if the file name has been changed or the file has been deleted, what about your program? Your program will not be able to execute the things, and that's where your exception comes into picture. So when I talk about exception, exception means it is a abnormal condition into your program. Why do we have this exception handling? Because we want to report and detect the errors. We want to report and detect the errors. Am I audible now? Yes. Someone is saying I'm not audible still. Am I audible? Yes. Am I audible? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So here, this is how we talk about the exception. So how to manage exceptions in any programming language? Try to understand. So any programming language, whether it is Java, whether it is Python, there are two things. Try to understand. You are going to import your code into, embed your code into try. So this is your try block. Python may, of course, we are using indentation. Try may, you are going to write the risky code. This is what is your risky code. Okay. And what you are going to do here is you are going to catch the code into the exception. Exception means this is to catch your code or catch your error. This is to catch your error. This is to catch your error. Then we have several keywords, other keywords. We have finally. Why do we have finally? Finally to release your resources. Finally to release your resources. Then we have raise, to throw your errors. To throw your errors. Let me write one small code here so that you know how it is to be used. Okay. So here only I'll write the code here. So here if I talk about say like print, okay, 10 divided by 0. See now what is happening. If I'm doing this 10 divided by 0, what is happening? See, my program is getting something. What is this now? This 0 division means what? It is my exception. But now division by 0, I understand very easily that it is division by 0. But sometime if I go to exception, there are certain errors which are not readable by a common person who is not related to programming. For such thing, what you're going to do here is you're going to create a situation wherein this program will be written using try, okay, and catch. Try and exception. Okay. So what is the benefit of this? Try to understand. If I'm talking about this exception here, your exception can be related to your own words. So what you can do here is you can write everything, the error messages, into your own letters so that the user understands. Sorry, the denominator, I'm giving a proper message, is 0. Sorry, the denominator is 0. Try to understand. Okay. So here when I'm running this now, see what is happening. Now if you compare the previous message and this message, there is a difference. This is more readable than what I've done previously. This is what is your exception handling. This is called as your exception handling. Okay. So there are various exception handlings, like we have zero division error, we have index error, then we have uh, the array index out of bound, then we have particularly the naming error, the text error, the conversion error. Lot many errors are there. For that we use the exception. It's not that much important as far as the topic is concerned, but this many exceptions are there as far as the Python is concerned. Okay. So that's all about this particular thing. Now let us move to the last and the very important point of our projects. Okay. Now here what I will do here is I will show you one small project wherein it is a very basic project wherein you are going to understand the working of this project. Okay. And in case in future if you would like to create such type of project, you can create. Okay. Online also you can search, you will get lot many projects which are there. Okay. But you have to learn by your own. that how you're going to create the projects. Okay, so let me open a small project here. So I'm just opening the project so that you understand what it is. So this is a billing system. So let me tell you what is a billing system now. What it does, it creates a billing system. Now here there is no database used. Try to understand. But you, if you observe this, you will not get anything. Particularly whoever does the project, only that person will understand what it is doing there. Actually, I have not used any database here. It is just a rough project wherein it uses the data on the screen, calculates the bill, and it gives the invoice to the user. Okay, let me run this now. If I run this, particularly what is happening, see, I'm getting this billing screen here. Now this screen, particularly what I need to do, I need to enter the data. Now this is a hard coded program. So I want to enter the data, then I need to enter my phone number. I need to enter my bill number. Then I need to use the values, whatever values are there. Okay, I mean the numbers. Okay, and then if you click on the generate bill, okay, here we have something like generate bill. Here you can see total the bill. If I click on total the bill, it is doing the total. Can you see here? Okay, it is calculating the tax. Okay, it is deducting the data amount from the tax and it is giving me the gross payment. And then if I click on generate bill, what it is doing now, can you see here at the right corner? I'm not able to show you perfectly here. Here you can see right corner. Okay, right corner may, here you are getting the actual bill of this. So you can print that particularly. Okay, I can just save this. So once I'm saving this, it will be saved into my actual program. This is just a basic program. So for this, what is been used? It is using a Kinter. Now this Kinter is nothing but the GUI based applications. Here you can see. Okay, this is just nothing but the GUI based application. Okay, so you can create such type of projects. Now for machine learning and other things, you can download the data set and you can create the projects. So you can have multiple projects using machine learning. So you can search on Google machine learning projects, but for that you require to understand what is machine learning. Then only you will be able to understand that thing. So that is related to prediction, classification, regression, so on and so forth. Okay, so it was wonderful to uh, means to being with you for the 3 days. I enjoyed a lot. I don't know about you. Let's stop for the day. Thank you. And if you have any queries, you can ask in the comment section. If possible, I'll collect it now, or else I will discuss that and I'll just keep that on the, what I can say, notes and everything. I will keep as a link. Okay, so you can just download from that. Fine. Yes, yes, notes in the sense whatever you have done, that part I will keep on the, or PPTs also I will keep on the, what I can say, drive. Thank you.